Hey everybody, this is Mr. McKee again with Net226. This is Packet Tracer 10.2.6, which is use LLDP to map a network. All right, and if you just did the Packet Tracer on CDP, this looks almost identical. All right, topology is the same, just we're going to be using LLDP versus CDP. All right. So let's go ahead and get started on this thing. All right, now same thing as I did on the last packet tracer. Since there's a bunch of information to enter on the addressing table, I made you guys a Word document that you could submit all your answers in. Excuse me, and currently it only has the edge router IP address for the gigabit 00, and you have to fill in for the serial and then some other stuff. All right, we'll figure this out as we go along. All right, and also there is 8 total questions in this packet tracer, so I've labeled each of them with answer, so that's where you put your answers in. All right, some of these questions though, it just says enter the missing information in the addressing table above. As long as you do that, that's fine too. All right, you can note that in the answer though, that just see addressing table above is fine. All right, so let's see. Pretty much a lot of those exact same questions as the last packet tracer. So that one was kind of in depth, even though the topology was easy and pretty straightforward. Just going through it and using CDP was a little bit complicated. So let's go ahead and get started with this thing. All right, so map a network using LLDP and SSH remote access. A senior network administrator gives you a map. Requires you to map the remote branch office network and discover information about all the devices in the network. You must record all of the network device names, IP addresses, and subnet masks, and physical interfaces interconnecting the network devices. To map the network, you will use SSH for remote access and the Link Layer Discovery Protocol, or LLDP, to discover information about neighboring network devices. Because LLDP is a Layer 2 protocol, it can be used to discover information about devices that do not have Layer 3 connectivity. You will record the information that you gather to complete the addressing table and provide a topology diagram of the remote branch office network, which is over here on the right. All right, you will need the IP address for the remote branch office, which is 209.165.200.10. The local and remote administrative usernames and passwords are as follows, and these look, I believe, they're a little bit different than the last packet tracer, but passwords are the same for these two. All right, so local network over here. Before we get to the edge, well, actually, after we leave the edge router, you go in the WAN. We can use that admin 01, and then remote branch office network. We're going to use the second one. Alright, so part 1, use SSH to remotely access network devices. In part 1, you will use the admin PC to remotely access the edge gateway router. Next, from the edge router, you will SSH into the remote RBO office. On the admin PC, open a command prompt. Alright, let's go up here, go to command prompt, make it a little bit bigger maybe. Alright. So SSH into the gateway router at 192.168.1.1 using the username admin01, and password is that password. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let me try to get that. Control C to copy it. All right, so I need to SSH admin01. 192.168.1.1. Alright, it gives me a password, so it's definitely going to take, well, it should take my SSH password, paste the password in there. Alright, we're in the privileged exec mode. That's good. Note that you're placed directly in the privileged exec mode. This is because admin01 user account is set to privilege level 15. So if I do a show run, I can verify that right there. right? Username, privileged, secret. This is hashed. All right. Password's hashed. All right. And right here we can see some information, like what do we have up here? That's our serial 000 interface info. All right, so what does it have? Let's see. The edge router was previously configured to use CDP. Switch S1 has already been configured to use Lldp. Okay, edge router was previously configured. Command to verify CDP is currently active. Disable CDP by issuing the following command. Before I do that though, since I've got whatever information I can get from the show run command, I'm gonna go ahead and enter that. All right, on my answers sheet. All right, so, and all these answers I'm gonna put in here in red text. All right, so gigabit 00. Actually, you know what? Give me just a second. I'm going to format these entries. All right, so I just formatted everything with Arial 10 fonts. All right, so we know gigabit 00 is going from the edge to S1, and the IP address is already in there. And we can kind of like click on it to figure that out. If it allows me to do it. Strange. All right. So let's do this then. And this is going to be red text. Make that red. Okay. All right, now S000 is 209.165.200.5. Subnet mask 255.255.255.252. All right, that's already going to connect to the ISP. It's weird though. Let's see. This should be gigabit 00. All these, when you enter these, interface and local interface should be the same. I don't know why that's even in there, but whatever. Let's see. Well, maybe it's talking about gigabit 01's local. That one. All right. So that's good. Now S1. Let's click on that. And just looking at that IP address, that's probably SPI for S1. So let's SSH L 2.168.1.2. Accounts will be admin 01. Password, I'm going to paste it in there. enable, no password set. Okay. What? Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave that where it is. Alright, we have gigabit 00 and 0000. We'll leave this until we have one more question before we answer that. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so the edge router was previously configured to use CDP. Switch S1 has already been configured to use Lldp. Issue the show CDP command to verify CDP is currently active, and then disable CDP by using the following command. So we're on edge. We're going to do config t CDP run. Right, that turned off CDP. Lldp can be configured to both transmit and receive on a specific interface. Configure edge so that it receives Lldp messages from S1 but does not send messages to S1. For security purposes, enable Lldp. Alright, so Lldp run interface gigabit 00, no Lldp transmit, exit. Alright. And then use the show Lldp neighbors command to verify the edge is receiving messages from S1. Show Lldp neighbors. Let's get back. Exit, and then show Lldp neighbors. Alright, we can see S1 right there, gigabit 00. Local port ID. Alright. Now we're going to SSH into S1, admin 01, 2.168.1.2. Alright, password. Paste that in. Alright, we're on S1, show Lldp neighbors. Okay, you gotta exit. Exit from the connection with S1 to return to the edge router CLI. Use the show IP interface brief and show interfaces command to document the edge router's physical interfaces, IP addresses, and subnet masks in the addressing table. We already have this, but let's verify. Ethernet 00 is that one. 0, 0, 0, 0, 209, 65, 200.5. And then show interfaces. Gigabit 00 is there, IP address, and subnet mask. Alright, we're looking for 0, 0, 0, 0 right there. Backslash 30, which is 255.255.255.252, and everything else is down. Alright. From your session with Edge Router, connect SSH to remote RBO office. And what's so weird though? Let's see. This is the SVI for S1. S1. Alright, so subnet mask. I know what it is, but I want to figure out how to find it. So if we're going from Edge, let's do this one more time. Alright, so Control C. So that interface is I guess we can tell by looking at 192.168.1.1.0. Alright, that'll just be blank because that's the SVI interface. Alright. I don't know what this is yet, but we'll keep on going. Do Control C. Alright, from the Edge Router, we're going to do SSH RBO admin 209.165.200.10. Alright, we're in RBO.edge-edge. After connecting to the RBO office at that IP address, what piece of previously missing information can now be added to the addressing table? Well, we know that this is going to be RBO edge red. If we go to show run, we can figure out gigabit 00. There's our subnet mask for that one. Alright, now we also have gigabit 01, which is 192.168. 3.249, subnet mask of 255.255.255.252, and local IP is gigabit 0. Okay, edge gigabit 00 ISP gigabit 01, and that's going to I'll have to figure that out in a second. And what I'm going to do also is just copy this down to there. Alright, so you should be able to answer that because I just did it. Alright, use Lldp to discover networking or neighboring devices. You're now remotely connected to the RBO edge router. Using Lldp, begin looking for connected network devices. Issue the show IP interface brief and show interfaces command to document the RBO edge router's network interfaces, IP address, and subnet masks. Add the missing information to the addressing table. Okay, which I already did that for you. And add all that information to the addressing table. Did that. Security best practices recommends only running Lldp when needed, so Lldp may need to be turned on. Use the show Lldp command to test its status. So we need to do show Lldp, not enabled. You need to turn on Lldp, but this is a good idea to only send Lldp information to internal network devices and not to external networks. Discover which interface is connected to the internet by issuing the command show IP interface brief. Enable the Lldp protocol and completely disable Lldp on the interface that is connected to the internet. So we can do a show IP interface brief. Alright. That's internal, this is external. So gigabit 00, we need to turn off Lldp transmit and receive to that as it shows in the instructions. So configure T Lldp run. So that just turned on Lldp on the device, and then interface gigabit 00, no Lldp transmit, and no receive, and exit out of that. Issue the show Lldp command to find any neighboring network devices. Note Lldp will only show connected devices that are also running Lldp. So let's do show Lldp. Actually, let's exit and then do a show Lldp neighbors. So we know we're connected to a firewall. So we can add firewall to this. So our local interface is gigabit 01, so we know that's connecting to the RBO. Right, and then RBO firewall. And it says, is there a neighboring network device? You can answer that. What type of device is it? What is its name? On what interface is it connected? Is the device's IP address listed? Record the information in the addressing table. Right, and just like we did before, if I do a show Lldp neighbors detail, it actually shows me more information about that interface. So if I get that, I know. Well, is it showing me the IP address? No. Let's see what it's got here. Use the show IP root command to determine the address of the device that you found in the show IP Lldp neighbors command. Based on the information provided in the local address in the addressing table and prefix length of the network, use that information to determine the neighbor address. Okay. So if I do a show IP root, so we're on edge, and then we got 3.49 is already recorded right there, and here's our local that address. So let's see, we are connected 3030. All right, so now I understand what they're talking about. All right, so if you say, okay, the edge routers on this side, it's a .249, it has a /30. The only other address you'd use would be a 192.168.3.250. So that network, only those two addresses right there would be the usable host addresses, because 248 would be the network, which is right there, and then 251 would be the broadcast. Alright, so 255.255.255.252, and that is gigabit 002 RBO edge. Alright, so we got that. So if you go to show Lldp neighbors detail, alright, where was that at? Let's see. So question, what other piece of potentially sensitive information is listed? Well, it shows the version of the software. All right. So that could be potentially used by a attacker. All right. Let's see. Note the current version of Packet Tracer does not provide a management interface of the neighbor device. In this activity, several neighbor device addresses have been provided in the addressing table. Okay. So that's why it's not showing up there. In CDP, the IP address was showing up for the firewall. All right, so connect to the neighbor device with SSH to discover the other devices that may be its neighbors. To connect to the SSH, use the same remote RBO office username and password. So let's do SSH RBO admin. Okay, that's right. And then the firewall IP address, which is 192.168.3.250. Alright, so verifies that it works because we're able to SSH into it, paste my password, and password doesn't work. Okay. Why don't these passwords work? That's weird. I'm copying and pasting the password and it didn't work. All right. So now we're into the RBO firewall. All right, so we just did that. After successfully connecting to the SSH, what does the command prompt show? Well, it shows that we're in this RBO-firewall device. All right. You're remotely connected to the next neighbor. Use the show LLDP neighbors command and the show LLDP neighbors detail command to discover other connected network devices. All right, so let's do that. And also it says after that, what type of network devices neighbor this device, record any new discovered devices in the addressing table, include their host name, addresses, interfaces, and IP addresses. Add the newly discovered device name to the SVI entry for address 192.168.4.131. Okay. Alright, so we're connected through two interfaces, one to the edge, which we were already there on gigabit 00, and now we're connected to switch RBOL on gigabit 01. Why is that acting crazy like that? Alright. So RBO firewall, gigabit 01. Don't know the IP address yet. We don't know that that's gigabit 01 to SW RBO1. Alright, now let's do show LLDP neighbors detail. And notice here also it doesn't show me my IP addresses. Let's see what it said here. So I entered switch RBO1 in the SVI, which was listed in the instructions of 192.168.4.131, right there. And then connect to the SVI for address using the SSH credentials you previously used. If prompt for enable secret password, use the same password used for RBO admin. Use the show LLDP neighbors command and the show LLDP neighbors detail command to discover other network neighbor devices. All right. RBO 192.168.4.131. Alright, so we're into that switch, and let's do show LDP neighbors. Alright, so we know we have another switch in the firewall connected to that interface. 1. Gigabit 01 is going to be to the firewall. Gigabit 01 RBO. And switch RBO 1 gigabit 02. That's connected to gigabit. And that's going to switch RBO 2. Alright, 1, 2, 3 interfaces. Alright, now let's go to show Lldp neighbor detail. It still didn't show us IP addresses, so that makes it hard. Alright, let's see what else this says. Right, so we did 131. And what types of network devices neighbor this device? Well, we've put 2 more firewall and another switch in there. Matter of fact, I'll be able to figure that out. All right. What type of network devices neighbor this device? Record any new discovered devices in the addressing table. User host name, interfaces, and IP addresses. All right, you can just put that in the addressing table. Is fine. And it says place the newly discovered device name next to the SVI entry for 192.168.4.132. They're talking about switch RBO2 SVI 192.168.4.132. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is go back. Let's see. What have I missed here? The SVI is good. I need to get the subnet mask for that. So if I do a show run, enable. Show run. Alright, so my SVI is right there. So that tells me the subnet mask. .128. Alright, that's good. Now we probably should go back to the firewall and make sure everything's, the IP address is at 1 there. Yeah, let me exit this. Okay, firewall, show run, gigabit 01. Alright, there's the IP address for that one. 192.168.4.254. 4.254. Gigabit 01. .254. Alright, so looking at the instructor manual, that IP address is not right. 4.254. Alright, anyways, if you guys aren't in my class, if you're in another class, that IP address is not going to be right. If you put that in there, you should get a credit for it, but the only problem is the instructor manual is wrong, right? Because that's been pre-configured. I don't want to really mess with that. Alright, so let's SSH back. To RBO1, switch RBO1, which is RBO admin, and then I need to do the SVI IP, which is 192.168.4.131. Password, paste. Alright, SVI gigabit 01. Show Lldp neighbors. Alright, so there's only 2 neighbors there. Okay. So that's all we can get right now. Let's see what we got here. Alright, we'll SSH into that one. RBO admin 92.168.4.132. Whoops, that's not right. Let it time out. Alright. 32. Show Lldp neighbors. So switch RBO2 1 gigabit 02 has a right there. Switch RBO2. And right now, all we know is it's on gigabit 02, and it's going to switch RBO1. Alright, so we're not getting anything for that. Nothing there, nothing here. Alright, RBO2. We still need the subnet mask of that. RBO2. SVI gigabit 02. RBO1. Alright, so connect to the SVI for address 192.168.4.133. SSH-L. Is it RPO admin? 168. Four dot 133. All right, so got to enable Lldp on there. So oops. Pick T, we're gonna Lldp run. And that should be it for that. There's no need to configure transmit or receive options because they are on by default. Use the show Lldp command. Exit out that. Show Lldp neighbors. Okay, so R3 and what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip a line. Switch RBO3 basic gigabit 0.1. Well, actually, you know what? I need to do this first. I can make an SVI entry, SVI 192.168.4.133. Just like that. Then switch RB03 gigabit 0 0.1, and that is 0.1 connected to switch RBO, and then a switch RBO3. There's that fast Ethernet 0.24. 0.24 connected to switch RBO1. And let's do a show Lldp neighbors tail. It just doesn't show us any IP addressing information, which that's a switch anyway, so it doesn't really matter. What we can do though is do a show run, find our subnet mask for 133, which is 5.255.255.128. Default gateway is 254. So that's our default gateway right there. put NAs on these, NA there. NA. Alright, SVI. Let's go to exit. Let's go to switch RBO2. Okay, so we need to do show run. And then the SVI address. There's the subnet mask. 28. This will be NA. This up here will be NA. In red. Alright. This will be NA. Default gateway for that one is 4.254, which is also firewall. Show Lldp neighbors. Switch 2. Okay, so that has one more gigabit 01 interface. Cut that. Paste it. All right. Let's switch RBO2 gigabit 01. I don't know the IP address, which there won't be an IP address for that one. Gigabit 01. So this will be NA, and gigabit 01 to switch 3. Switch RBO3. So all these switch ports don't have IP addresses. Now the one thing we're missing is there should be one more interface. Or did I miss it? Let's see, S1, Edge, Firewall, RBO1. X that. Let's paste it right here. Alright, so switch RBO1 should have one more configured interface. F24. Let's go back. I think the problem is the Lldp hasn't updated yet. So let's go exit out of that. Back to switch RBO1. Show Lldp neighbors. Oh, there it goes. It finally showed up. Switch RBO1 F24. Oops, 24. NA. So this is going to be F024 touching switch RBO3. Right, that is a whole bunch of stuff, but that should be right. Let me verify. Right, all that's right. That's right. 250 RBO firewall. Alright, let's do a show run. So this is the default gateway for the switches. So that IP address is right. The instructions must be wrong. Okay, 128 SVI gigabit 01. RBO2 SVI 132 128. All right, that. Let's see. All right, what type of network devices neighbor this device? And that's talking about RBO3. Record any newly discovered devices in the addressing table, include their hostname addresses, include their hostname, interfaces, IP addresses. It may be beneficial to reconnect to the previously discovered devices to display neighbors one more time to complete the entire addressing table now that all devices are configured for Lldp. All right. So the one thing I want to check this should just be NA. Alright, so that was a whole bunch of addressing, but now we're good. We've gone through all the questions, all that's fine. Now the big thing is how to take all these, put all these together into a topology. Alright, so I'm going to move this off the screen. Go over here. And this is going to be the remote branch office. So I'm just going to throw up a actually, I take that back. I'm just going to do a couple of routers. Router. So we need an RBO edge. We need RBO. I take that back. RBO. That's edge. So everything past that is remote RBO. Okay. So we need 1, 2, 3 switches. 1, 2, 3. Alright, then we just need to connect them together correctly. Alright, so from this one, I'm going to name this RBO edge and put X in parentheses. RBO firewall X. Alright, this will be switch SW RBO1X. This will be SW RBO2X. This will be switch RBO3X. Okay, now all we gotta do is connect these together. So we don't need to do this, but RBO edge is gigabit 00 is connected out to the ISP through gigabit 00. And then RBO edge gigabit 01 is connected from its gigabit 01 to firewalls gigabit, is that right? Gigabit 0. Firewall gigabit 0. Alright, so this gigabit 01 to firewalls gigabit 0 0. Okay, make sure that's right. firewall, gigabit 01 goes to switch RBO1, and switch RBO gigabit 01 goes to the firewall. Okay, and then gigabit 02 goes to switch RBO2. Switch 1 goes to switch gigabit 0 RBO1. Alright, gigabit 01 goes to the firewall, gigabit 02 goes to switch RBO2. And then switch 1 F024 goes to switch 3 like that, and then RBO2 gigabit 01 goes to RBO3 gigabit 01. And fast forward time. Spanning tree protocol is blocking that, which that's fine. Let's just verify this thing. All right, the edge. The edge is going to the firewall. Firewall is going to switch gigabit, switch RBO1, gigabit 01, and then so on. That'd be fine though. We're not going to be configuring it, but that's the way the topology is supposed to look. Let me verify with the instructions. And that is correct. Alright, but that's it. Thanks for watching. What you need to do is Control print screen. After you install the questions, and if the question refers to putting something in the dressing table, just put refer to the dressing table. Now down here, Control V, paste this in, go up here, format picture. I'm going to crop that out like so. Make it pretty small. Alright, and that will work. Alright, I know that was long, but these CDP and LLDP packet tracers seem like they're pretty long. Alright, but thanks for watching, and let me know if you guys have any questions.